Aloha! Welcome to the 40th Annual Hawaii International Film Festival presented by Holly Kalani and our discussion with filmmaker Po Yulin for his film Growing Pains, yes. And we'd like to extend our thanks to the Ministry of Culture of Taiwan and the Taiwan Academy of Los Angeles for sponsoring this program as part of the Spotlight in Taiwan section. My name is Anderson Lay, and I'm the artistic director for the film festival. Quickly before we start with the Q&A, just some quick housekeeping bits. Regarding program updates, for the up-to-date information on additions to our program, the full schedule of films, events, HIFF Talk story sessions, and Q&As, visit our website at hiff.org, HIFF.org. And the audience award voting. To participate in our Hawaii News Now audience award voting process, please head to hawaiinewsnow.com/HIFF to cast your vote for your favorite narrative, documentary, and short film. Mahalo to Hawaii News Now for all their support. Director Lin, how are you?
Yes.
领导人您好。
Hello， 我是林博瑜，我是少年阿瑶的导演，我叫林博瑜。
Aloha, hello, my name is Bo Yu Ling. I'm the director for the film Growing Pains.
Very nice to thank you for joining us all the way from Taiwan.
谢谢您啊，林导演从远方的台湾来参与我们这次问答。
不会，很荣幸可以参与这次的这个夏威夷电影节，谢谢。
I'm very honored. It's my pleasure to participate in HIFF this year.
We're very honored to have your film. So for my first question, I'm going to ask, according to your director's statement, Growing Pains, your film, is inspired by a true story from your past. Can you elaborate on that?
那谢谢您，林导演把您的影片送到我们电影节来。那我第一个问题给林导演是，就您这个影片的这个导演名述的这一部分呢，说您是说呢，这个影片的这个故事呢，这个灵感是来自于您自己亲身经历的真实故事。您可不可以展开更加详尽，帮我们介绍一下，这个真实的故事？
好，这个故事呢，它一开始其实取材自我14岁的这个经验。对，那其实那时候我父亲就是在他的车上烧炭自杀。那一天我们家里面都没有大人，所以那个警察就带我到这个我爸爸自杀现场，去指认我父亲的遗体。
So this story, the real story, happened when I was 14 years old, and my dad was making sand at a factory, local factory, and some local policemen came to my house and took me to the site, to the work site, to identify my dad's body.
对，所以这个经验对我来说是。那时候我只有14岁嘛，所以是非常冲击跟震撼的。那这个记忆、这个画面呢，就一直有点像是纠缠着我，到我今年30岁，那就是让我觉得我现在有能力去处理那一个时候的伤痛。
That particular experience has been lingering, haunting me. You could imagine at 14 years old, it was very impactful. It was actually very overwhelming. So that image of that site has stayed with me and haunting me all these years. And today I'm 30 years old. I think I finally could drum up the strength to deal with that experience.
对，大概是这样的。
Pretty much is like that.
Wow. I'm sorry. What a very dark experience that you had to go through, especially as a young boy. The making of this film must have been very cathartic for you, since it was based on this family tragedy, and the fact that you did witness, kind of the scene where your father passed away. Can you just talk about how was the process of making the film? Was it cathartic for you? I mean, did you feel that you needed to make this film to, like as you say, finally accept this dark period that happened to you as a child?
哇，那这个故事真的是很黑色的，这个很让人这个情绪低落的这个故事哈，尤其是这个对于14岁的一个孩子来讲，这个冲击一定是很大的。那我想问您，就是在您因为这样就是很亲身经历的这种家庭悲剧，然后目睹自己父亲过世的这种经历，在您做这部电影的过程中，您是不是有一种释放，或者最终找到了这个归途的这种感觉，就是对于这种经历，对这个经历终于可以画一个句号，这个感觉。
对，这个制作过程其实是非常痛苦的，因为你要不断的去面对，去跟别人诉说你自己的发生在自己身上的经历，你要跟制作方跟你出钱的给我资金的人去说，然后又要这已经说一遍，又要跟我所有制作的团队说，所以那个你要一直不断重复自己的那种很痛苦的经历，因为你每次说你都会再回想一次那个场面，所以整个制作过程对我来说是非常痛苦的。
The entire filmmaking process of this film is rather painful to me because I had to repeat this painful experience over and over again. From the production group, which is the funding party, I have to explain my experience to get the funding, and then turn around to my production team. Every time I have to repeat and repeat again this painful experience. It actually hurts so much inside of me.
尤其是拍摄到这个我父亲死掉的，就那个小男孩去指认父亲遗体的那个画面，那个画面其实是我把我脑中的画面去把它重新拍出来。
Especially the scene that the little kids went to identify the dad's body. That was the image in my mind, and I have to craft that image from my mind onto the screen.
我在拍摄那个镜头的当下，其实我是摄影师把镜头摆好，演员上去，演员停止呼吸，假装自己死掉的样子。那个瞬间我完全承受不住，所以我是哭着离开现场的。我请摄影师帮我拍，我哭着离开了现场。
So on that scene, we had all the cameras ready. And we had the actors ready in his position, and he started to hold his breath and pretend that he's dead. At that moment, I couldn't hold it anymore. I was just bawling, and I asked the videographer to continue to finish that filming of that scene. I had to leave the site at that moment.
对，那所以说。其实过程很痛苦啊，但是我觉得最后拍完，其实我自己也有得到一个疗愈的效果这是很奇妙的，就是好像真的情绪被有一个释放的感觉，就是当所有片子完成之后。
It's strangely, the process was really, really painful, but when we finished the film, I found it actually therapeutic. It's strange that after we finished the film, I did feel it was cathartic to me, that I finally had the release and had the closure.
对，我觉得这就是诉说或是创作它的一种力量吧，就是可以让曾经有这种伤痛的人，他有一个管道可以去做一个释放。那我觉得创作是有一个很重要的事情是这一块。
I think that's probably the power of storytelling. That as any creative person, creative artist, that when you are telling a story, it's also a release of certain energy. So that's the beauty and the power of the process of creating films or artistic work.
好，以上，谢谢。
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Wow. Let's talk about the performances. The actors that you chose to play the father and son, they were, fantastic performances. Even in the story, you're trying to strike the balance between I mean, basically the father being very tough father, working hard and what have you, but just having him, it's all about face, saying everything's fine to the son, even though he's repairing his shoes, they don't have much money, but he's always trying to hide away the fact that he's in debt, that he's always looking at buying the lottery tickets, but he's doing it in a way that's not out of desperation. He's trying to hide that from his son. How do you kind of strike that balance creatively, and in especially, and how do you kind of just inform the actors to how did you direct them to kind of really parlay this type of behavior so convincingly in their performance?
那您这个电影里面这个演父子的这2个主要演员哈，他们演的真的是非常的棒，非常的逼真哈。那他在他们的这个表演中呢，所表达出来的这种挣扎，这种保持这种平衡，就父亲心中的这种挣扎，就是说他其实是在儿子面前是隐藏了他所有的这些绝望，他自己的心里的这些着急，这些压力，因为他比如说他就是甚至于给孩子修鞋呀等等这些，然后为了试自己的运气，想摆脱债务，然后去买彩票啊等等这样的经历，但是在孩子面前，他表现的是一点都没有事情这样的。那这个平衡，这个挣扎，您在导演的过程中是怎样指导这些演员达到这个程度，如此逼真的表达呢？
对，谢谢这个提问。就是说，其实我们这个男主角之一，就是父亲这个角色，他是台湾这个去年的金马奖的这个最佳男主角的得主。那他过去呢，也是有拿过金马奖的导演，就是陈以文这位演员。
So thank you for that question. The actor who played the father, Chen Yiwen, he's actually the winner of last year's Taiwan Golden Horse main actor.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And also he had won acting awards from Taiwan Golden Horse Festival before.
对，所以他是在台湾是非常顶级的一个，不管是导演或是演员，他都是我们的非常前面的前辈啊，所以我很荣幸可以邀请到他来跟我一起合作。
So no matter from directing point of view or acting point of view, he's viewed as a guru in our filmmaking industry in Taiwan. So it is my great honor to have this chance to work with him.
对，虽然他的地位这么崇高，但是他从来也不会，就是他跟我这个很新手的导演合作起来呢，他是非常慷慨，也愿意给予经验的指导的。所以在跟他合作去处理这个父亲的时候，我觉得就会有很多面向可以去处理。
So even he's very famous, and has really high reputation. In working with me, a newbie in directing, he has been really generous and giving me a lot of pointers and coaching in the directing, and therefore in the treatment of this main character, he has helped me a lot.
对，原本我的父亲，因为这是来自我的经验嘛，我的父亲是比较压抑的，他的性格是比较不会跟小朋友讲话，或是比较不会去逗弄我们，跟这个剧中的角色他差别蛮大的。
Actually, the real father, that's my father, in real life, my father was actually very introvert, and he does not really talk to us. He holds back a lot, and he doesn't really play with us or talk to the kids a lot at all.
所以是陈以文他读了我们的剧本，他觉得如果只用单一面向的方式去处理角色，他会比较没有那么样的立体，所以他给了我很多这种比较逗趣的父亲，或是比较强颜欢笑父亲的这一个面向，我看了之后，我觉得非常的同意，所以就跟他一起合作，把这个父亲的更多的面向给打造出来。
So when Chen Yiwen read about this character, this father's character, his suggestion to me is that if it's a real, if you want to hold the authentic, real character, it's a little too thin. It's not dynamic enough. Therefore, he suggested adding in the playfulness of into the father's character and the struggle that he's going through a lot of struggle, but in front of the kids, he's putting up a happy face. That will make the character much richer. So I very much agree with him. That's why that's the direction we went.
对，以上谢谢。
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, Chen Yuen. He was in A Son, right? The film A Son.
Yes.
Which,
yes.
and which is an incredible film. He's been. I recognize him now. He's been in a lot of great Taiwanese film and the Great Buddha Plus and all that stuff. So, yeah, of course, he's great. I mean, also the scene where he's trying to buy the shoes at the shoe store, and his credit card keep declining. It was so heart-wrenching. He's just trying to desperately impress his son, so just to buy him the shoes so it's like, don't worry about it, everything's fine, and it's not fine. It's like that was such a very hard scene to watch as a viewer, to see him sink lower and lower, so.
这个我现在记起来，就是陈以文陈以文这个导演和这个先生是很著名的，我看过他很多很多的那个影片哈，他是台湾很有名的这个电影工作者。那您这部电影里面，尤其是买鞋的那一场戏啊，真的是让人看得非常的揪心，让人非常的入戏的那种感觉。就是买鞋的时候，爸爸的那个 credit card 那个信用卡一次被退回来这样，但是他又强颜欢笑的跟儿子说没关系，放心，不用担心，这个真的退一次这个卡就让人揪心一次，然后就觉得心沉得更低一次，所以那个场景真的是让观众很容易融进去入戏。
谢谢。
Thank you.
And can you talk about the young actor who plays the son? Did you in his performance, did you see a lot of yourself in his performance? Was that did you basically direct him to basically be yourself when you were 14, or did you try to alter the character a little more for dramatic purposes for this film?
那个小儿子的这个角色来讲的话哈，那在他的这个演员的这个表演中，您给他塑造的这个角色是更多的是按您自己14岁的时候那个影子来塑造的呢，还是说在塑造角色的时候您加了其他的改变呢？等等这些，为了跟戏剧为了让这个戏剧更加有趣等等这些进行了修改。
这个小孩子的演员他是完全没有经验的一个素人，就是他不是一个专业的演员，他其实只是一个国中生，就是我们去了好几十间这个国中去看了好几百个这个国中生，去找到了一个这样的我觉得符合我心中样貌的一个男孩。
First of all, this actor, he has zero experience in acting.
Wow.
So he's just a intermediate school kid that we have gone through multiple tens of schools and multiple hundreds of kids, and we chose him. So he's really had no acting experience at all.
我会看上他很大的原因是因为他有一种内敛的特质，他会把自己跟其他的他的团队的人，就是他们是田径队的嘛，他好像是会把自己孤立起来的一种这样的，有一种这样的性格的人。
The reason I chose him is he's introvert. He holds things in. He's in the school's field track team. He's on the track and field team, and he had that quality or character to make that team isolate from the rest.
对，那再来就是因为他不是专业的表演者，所以他的语言表达能力不是这样的可以被拍摄， 可以被，所以我在剧本的修改上有依照他的这样的一个特点去把他的台词全部删掉，变成是一个比较沉默寡言的小孩。
So because he's not, he doesn't have a professional acting background, his treatment or his capability of handling language or the narratives is limited. So I actually changed the screenwrite to adapt more to his authentic self. So I took out a lot of lines on his role and make it more him authentically.
再来是因为他是田径队的小朋友，所以他其实常常在接受指令，就是他的教练会叫他做什么什么事情，他们这些选手他们都会很听话的去做，所以我在导戏的时候其实也把他当做我的选手，就是说一个口令一个动作他都可以非常的去 follow 这件事情。那这样的事情就非常适合跟专业的工作团队合作，因为在片场里面导演跟演员的工作也常常会是比较是指令式的，这样子是其实蛮符合我们整个工作条件的。所以他虽然不专业，他虽然不是专业的演员，但是他却具有专业演员的特质。
So also that because he's on the track and field team, he has to play as a team player and follow instructions by the coach, right? So that's the same thing as when we on the film site, that the director gives certain instruction and the actor follows, and he's really good at that, taking that instruction and execute it.
Right.
Therefore, that's very much a key in the collaboration between director and the actor. So even though he did not have professional acting background, he has the qualities that to perform and execute well on site.
对，那经过以上刚刚这些调整啊，什么一些拍片的流程之后，其实这个角色离我真实经验已经越来越远了。对我平常跟我父亲没有这么多的互动啊，所以但这个剧中你可以看到这个小朋友会去顶嘴啊，会去跟爸爸这个做一些回应。在现实生活中，我跟我爸爸可能并没有那么样的交流，并没有那么的频繁，所以其实他已经离我真实这个角色，他其实已经有他自己的样子了。对。
So after all these adjustments or adaptation here and there and all that, and throughout the process, this character has become further and further away from the real me when I was 14. The reason given that, I didn't have that much interaction with my father. You know, in the film, that the kid would talk back to the father and all that. But in real life, I didn't even have much of communication or interaction really with my dad.
以上，谢谢。
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean, adjusting the character to be more introverted, I think was a very good choice by you, because he's basically you're seeing his observations of, like, and I think almost like he's bottled up all his emotions. He's very angry at the fact that he has to run with very old shoes, and he's getting teased by his teammates, and at the same time he's observing strange behavior from his father, and also threatening phone calls. I think it's like for him, maybe perhaps the introverted perspective is much more effective. So it's like more observation, and you see that there's trouble within the family versus just saying things.
我觉得您把这个角色改得更稍向内向一些，是真的是很绝的一笔哈。因为这样的话呢，你把这个角色改成内向以后呢，影片表达的更多的是他的观察，这个孩子的观察，他自己观察到的自己内心的这种愤怒、这种不满，因为他因为自己的鞋旧了，受到别人的嘲笑等等这些，同时他又观察到爸爸的这些 这些难处、这些问题，但是爸爸又不愿意跟他讲强颜欢笑的这些事情，就让他感到很自然的，就让孩子的这些观察，通过孩子的观察，证明这个家庭是有问题的一个家庭，而不是说像表面上一切都好的那样的家庭。
谢谢。
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. So, I mean, my final question is, now that this film is done, can you discuss maybe what your next project will be, or are you perhaps working on a feature film, or?
那我最后一个问题想问您，就是您这个短片做得这么成功了，那下一个您可不可以跟我们透露一下您后面的打算，下一步的打算是想做这种剧情长片吗？
好，那个我下一部片其实已经拿到资金了，那预计会在明年3月到4月做拍摄，那也是明年的10月会上档。
My next film, actually, I got the funding secured already, and the production will be done next March to April, and the release would be next October.
不过它也是短片的规模。
But it's another short. So.
I see. Okay.
Yes. 那它的内容也是讲一对父子，但是这次，对，讲一对父子他们一起去也是自杀的故事。
So in terms of story, it's still about a father and a son, and this time is they went together and committed suicide.
Oh, wow. Okay.
对，这是我下一次的这个计划，希望还有机会可以参加这个 HIFF。
That's my next film, and I really hope that I would have the pleasure to participate in HIFF again.
Absolutely. Just keep us posted, and hopefully next year, if we are able to screen the film, perhaps we can have you in Hawaii in real life to present it to the audiences.
那咱们保持联系，真的是希望明年我们的电影节的时候，能够请您亲人来我们夏威夷哈。
没问题，谢谢。
No problem. Thank you.
Absolutely. And so thank you again, Director Lin, for your amazing film, and we're very, very honored to present Growing Pains as part of our Spotlight in Taiwan section. So this concludes our Q&A. Thank you all for watching the discussion today, and a special mahalo to all of our HIFF sponsors, board of directors, HIFF Ohana members, and audience members, but also our volunteers. We can't do it without you. And of course, I want to thank also Liwei Kimura for her excellent interpretation. Hi, Liwei. Thank you so much for helping us out a great deal. And so we can't do it without you. So thank you again, and we will see you soon.
Aloha. 谢谢林导演。
谢谢。